Today I have a melodic death metal band from Greece to present. Horrified formed 1989 in Athens. After 2 demo tapes, they recorded a 12-inch vinyl EP called Eternal God in '91. 1 year later, a 7-inch vinyl entitled The Ancient Whisper of Wisdom followed. The tracks from these EPs were later re-released as bonus tracks on the CD of the first album, so they are fortunately not hard to find. Early on, Horrified started to add melodies and various special elements to their music: female vocals, orchestral sounds and progressive structures. And mind you, this was in the early 90s when very few bands had done that yet after Celtic Frost paved the way. 1993, their first album, In the Garden of Unearthly Delights, was released by Black Power Records in an initial print of only 500 copies. Fortunately, there were reprints from other labels later. Horrified consisted of Go on vocals, Stavros and Timos on guitars, Tanos on bass and Stelios on drums. Stavros also took care of keyboards, flute and most of the songwriting. In the future, the band would basically consist of the 3-piece Goa, Stavros and Tanos with different drummers and guests. Even if the distribution of the debut was sparse, the band made a name for itself on the underground circuit, playing live gigs with bands like Rotting Christ and Septic Flesh. Shortly after the release of the album, however, the band split. Singer Go went to London while Stavros was hired as live musician by Rotting Christ. Yet that wasn't the last we've heard of Horrified. 4 years later, the band members collected some ideas for a new album, and in '98 the follow-up Animal was released.
You can die or die as long as you live. Sacrifice your eyes for those that will see endlessly. Survival graves, taste, rise, live moments of life to end.
A new contract had been signed with Black Lotus Records, who would keep the band until the end. Animal is a bit short, somehow it seems a bit uneven and lacking power. It didn't fully show what the band was capable of doing. Reviews were not so positive either, but Horrified had a record contract, played gigs and kept going. 2002 the band recorded the 3rd album Deus Diabolus in Versus. This is my favorite Horrified album. First, it sounds best of all produced in Sweden by Fredrik Nordström. Then it has amazing songs like Requiem for a Caged Lust or the title track Deus Diabolus in Versus, which have a dense, haunting atmosphere. Influences from black metal became stronger, both in the vocals as well as in the lyrics. Gore described it in an interview simply as more angry than their earlier music. Really, this album is so good that I'd like to play 5 more songs from it, but I'm sure you can stream them elsewhere. Do it. In November 2005, a re-release of the debut album was arranged with Black Lotus. In 2006, Horrified still gave some interviews, but after that, there were no more signs of life. Stavros and Thanos, who are brothers by the way, continued in another band, while Gore worked as a visual artist and video effects designer. Horrified never sold big numbers of their albums and remained kind of obscure but really interesting in my view. If you like the Greek death and black metal scene, anything from Septic Flesh to Thou Art Lord, you shouldn't overlook Horrified. Thanks and goodbye.